Hello everyone, I'm Torres from Cinco Studio and welcome to my first edition of the video series called Last Week Today in Search Engines, where I would try to cover different happenings and events that happened recently in SEO space and in search engine marketing space. So as mentioned, this is my very first video, so don't judge me too much, but of course if you have any type of feedback on how can I improve this, or you have any questions or comments regarding the information I mentioned in this video, feel free to leave the comment below. I would be happy to hear from you guys. So news number one is Google recently announced that they are implementing Core Web Vitals into the Search Console and into the search ranking algorithm. So Core Web Vitals were recently introduced by Chromium team, and that basically tracks any website's experience, and they describe it as a Core Web Vitals, and those vitals include basically your website's speed, its stability, and responsiveness. So Google has been preaching on these elements as essential for any websites for already many years, and they've been announcing that the speed is very important recently, in the last couple of years and so on. So now they are sort of bundling them together under the one term called Core Web Vitals. And it's important to know that basically what they said that while it will be possibly a ranking factor, however, it won't be used as one until next year, and they will give you at least half a year, announcement, so you could fix everything up. However, already now, if you go to your Search Console, and I hope each one of you have a Search Console installed for your website, you'll be able to see the Core Web Vitals information right there already, and the errors in terms of speed, visibility, and responsiveness already there, so you can already start working on improving your website, right? So that's the let's say quite a big news, but also not something very surprising, because that was actually already part of the whole agenda that Google has been mentioning for a while. Okay, the news number two is that Google have now made the discovery ads available globally. And what it means is that basically Google has introduced in the previous months a specific ad type called discovery ads, and discovery ads very much resemble the Facebook ads, where you have the image, you have the title, and maybe a short description and a link, right? But previously Google only had text ads that you could find in the search engines. You could have video ads on YouTube, or you could have a display advertising, sort of like a banner advertising, right? So this is a new type of ad type that you could use to market your business, and that will basically appear what they say in YouTube home feed, in Gmail social part, and in promotions tab, and also in Google discovery feed, right? So according to Google, 800 million people now use discover tab monthly. So there is a lot of let's say new potential users you could reach through this new type of ad. And what Google says, their tip in terms of how can you create a great discover ad is basically just use aspirational imagery and copy, and these two elements are crucial to make that ad successful. And they actually even said openly that they got inspired to make these type of ads from the success on the Facebook social feed. So here we go. If you are advertising in Google Ads, this is a new type of the ad you could try out and reach more potential users. Okay, so the news, or sort of a happening number three, is that 62% of the users in the poll provided by Barry Schwartz, a well-known SEO expert in the space, basically said that the recent May 2020 Google algorithm has negatively affected their site rankings and traffic, right? So 62% has reported that their traffic went down, and I've seen those reports as well. A lot of people suffer from the very big traffic crashes from the algorithm that has been launched on May 4th this year, so just 4 weeks ago or so. And I have experienced myself in a couple of the websites I personally own that I have suffered from some traffic loss. Some websites actually improved, and all of my client websites has actually improved as well. However, according to the reports, a lot of websites that actually had really high quality content and were well built and had a good link profile has seen 20, 30, 40% drops in their rankings and traffic. So this last algorithm was really hard on a lot of websites, and a lot of people depend on stable and increasing, hopefully, web traffic for their business. So Sometimes it happens when you don't have the full control on something that's overnight you could be losing 30-40% of your revenue just from algorithm change. So it's definitely a lesson that Google and SEO space is basically changing constantly, and you have to be ready to optimize your website to the point where you would be as, let's say, reluctant, or not reluctant, how do you say, less prone to these negative effects of algorithm changes. So, the rule stays the same. You have to provide great content. You have to have high quality backlink profiles. Your content has to be relevant for the searches. And if you are in a certain categories like health, for example, that are your money, your life type of categories, there especially you have to really work hard on your authority and prove that basically you deserve to be in the first page and be that authority that provides people information. So just a general news that the last algorithm update was really brutal on a lot of people, and it has been confirmed by the poll made by Barry Schwartz. And the final news that I think is worth noting is that 2/3 of publishers have noticed that the CPMs has went down in the last 2 months. So basically in March and April they have noticed lower CPMs, which sort of makes sense. Like the competition went down, the budgets went down, people were advertising a lot less. Therefore, based on the auction, the cost per impression has decreased. However, recent findings that in May the cost for advertising has been slowly increasing again. So basically what that means is that sooner or later, as the economy will hopefully recover and the overall climate in terms of expectations of how economy will do has improved, and therefore people are now again more aggressive and more confident in spending more on branding campaigns and so on. Therefore, obviously the cost of advertising will again increase. However, it hasn't returned to the level that it was, let's say, in January or February. So if you are thinking of launching your advertising campaigns, this could still be a good time. You could still save a little bit. You could, let's say, reach more people with the same budget. However, that, definitely depends on industry. These numbers are global, right? But I mean, if you are in industry that has been affected heavily by COVID-19 pandemic, likely your cost of advertising would have decreased. If on the other side you are riding the wave, your type of services are really needed in these hard times, it's very likely that there are more companies that you're going to compete with, and with the same amount of budget you'll be able to reach less people, right? But right now, the climate is still slightly better in terms of how much you get for the same amount of ad budget. All right, so that was it. For the first video, I didn't want to make it too long. I hope it was useful for amazing happenings. I will try to publish these videos weekly. Well, that's the whole idea of last week today in search engines. And if you have any specific questions or comments, please leave that below in the comment section, whether you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube. And see you in the next video. All the best, guys.